Oh, I seem like a crazy person. I started off the video laughing. No, oh shit, is that my side profile? Oh my, oh shit. Ooh, let me not look to the right too much. I don't know. I don't know. I hate doing that. You know, you gotta love yourself. I love myself. I think I look good. But you know, it just seems like the side profile. Yeah, you know, I don't really like it. But you know, what can you do? Don't really matter. Anyway, what's going on with you guys, man? I know I said I was gonna do the shadow video by the dude, Eternalize, whatever the fuck his name is. Don't really remember his name. I already forgot it. But in school, I have a friend, and she had mentioned something about self-sabotage. So, let's read this for a top comment. I love how the top comment is always a quote for every one of these videos. When you are up against a wall, put down roots like a tree until clarity comes from... Wait, when you are up against a wall, put down roots like a tree until clarity comes from deeper sources to see over that wall and grow. Seems deep. I don't know exactly. I'm trying to visualize. Obviously, you're not supposed to put roots into the ground, but like, what does that mean? When I'm up against a wall, put down roots like a tree. So let me think of an example. So let's say your friends. Damn, what's a good up against a wall analogy? Man, I don't have time for this, man. I be making these intros too long. Let me just shut the fuck up, man. Let's just get this started, man. This is by Ganger. You know, it's Carl Jung in the Psychology of Self-Sabotage. My friend, she was saying she might be self-sabotaging. So I think that this would be a good video that I wanted to watch. I chose it instead of the other one because I want to maybe be able to tell her some useful information that might be useful to her, hopefully. But usually I kind of be forgetting these shits because I don't get very good sleep. But I will have this video to go and rewatch. If I have to go rewatch my own video, I will 100% do that. Maybe I'll be more likely than actually going back and watching the actual video. Just because it's my video, sometimes I just be clicking on it and be like, oh, let's see how it came out. But hey, shut the fuck up. Let's go.
Consciousness succumbs all too easily to unconscious influences, as these are often truer and wiser than our conscious thinking. Also, it frequently happens that unconscious motives overrule our conscious decisions, especially in matters of vital importance. Carl Jung.
Emotion.
Many people tend to undermine their own agendas. To their frustration and bewilderment, they find themselves making irrational decisions, experiencing mental blocks, and even physical ailments that cripple their plans. It's like a mysterious force takes over control, steering them away from the goals they've determined to accomplish. And thus, plagued by continuous self-sabotage, these people never seem to get where they want to be. But why do we self-sabotage? How come that we wreck our own plans without any good reason? Swiss psychiatrist Carl Jung discovered plausible answers to these questions as he became aware of a part of the psyche that he called the shadow. We can see the shadow as a psychological container within the realm of the unconscious. In this dark place where the light of our conscious awareness does not reach, we store our undesirable traits. There could be various reasons why we sweep unwanted aspects of ourselves under the carpet. Our parents may not like them, or they may not fit the societal ideal or life taught us that they lead us to suffer. And so we repress these traits by banishing them into the bowels of the psyche as if they aren't part of us. But they are. And according to Jung, the repression of unwanted aspects of ourselves will not solve the problem. In fact, it can have disastrous...
Should I put on captions? Maybe it would be better. I want to put on captions.
Aspects of ourselves.
Oh shit! Can I put my camera up here though? Because then I'm really fucking it up. Oh, okay. I think maybe we should go. No! Don't touch the screen. Don't touch the screen. The camera. Okay. Maybe there. Would that be good? Would the top right be a good place? I don't know. I honestly don't know. Maybe. I'd hope so. All right, let's go.
Will not solve the problem. In fact, it can have disastrous consequences, as these aspects take on a life on their own, operating in obscurity. And this is where the self-sabotage begins. The repressed parts of the personality revolt against our conscious minds from the deepness of the shadow. And so we are at war with ourselves, without even knowing who we are fighting. Luckily, there are ways to stop this self-sabotage. Instead of repressing what's in the shadow, Jung urged us to integrate it into our personality. And we can only do this by making the unconscious conscious and discovering what's hiding underneath. Let's explore the psychology of self-sabotage and how to overcome it, based on the works of Carl Jung.
Damn. Integrate that which your parents did not allow you to express, or integrate that which is not deemed acceptable by society. How do you even go?
This video is a product of a collaboration with Emerald from the
protein shake.
There is a common misconception about the shadow that leads to a lot of confusion and misunderstandings about the role of the shadow and how to integrate what's been repressed. It is often thought that the shadow is simply the dark and negative side of the personality. Because of the issues it can cause, it is often thought of as a part of ourselves that holds all of our negative impulses. And because of this, the shadow as a psychological concept is often depicted symbolically as a shadowy figure, suggesting an ominous other self that exists outside of our awareness. But the shadow actually refers to something fundamentally different.
What does it refer to?
The shadow is actually more like a dark place than it is like a dark and shadowy figure. So we could think of the shadow as being like a dark closet in a human psyche where the light of consciousness doesn't shine. And this dark closet is where we lock away
that's creepy
all
as
the
shit.
repressed parts of the personality that we are unable or unwilling to face with or reintegrate at the moment, which can happen for a variety of reasons, such as trauma or unmet needs, to name a couple. So when we talk about doing shadow work and integrating the shadow, we're not actually integrating the shadow itself. We're actually integrating the contents of the shadow. And when I say the contents of the shadow, what I'm referring to are all of the repressed parts of the personality. These are the parts of the self that
What the fuck are these? What are these animations? What is that? What am I looking at here?
inhabit the dark place that is the shadow.
I'm looking at a bunch of females walking. I think that's females, right? That's a female figure.
So in the same way that you could put objects
Yo, they fit though. Like they kind of fit.
into a dark closet and it becomes shrouded in shadow.
Okay.
You could also take those same objects.
Yeah, I had to sprinkle a little bit of me in there. You know what I mean? Yeah, I gotta make it fun. Oh shit. Not important.
Out of that dark closet and into the sunlight, and they'd no longer be shrouded in shadow. And this is also true of the parts of the personality that inhabit the shadow. There is nothing inherently shadowy or negative about them. It's just that they've been put into a shadowy place and are operating outside of our conscious awareness and are often causing problems for us because of this disconnect. Now,
The disconnect, what does that do? What does that mean it causes problems for us because of disconnect? Because does the shadow try to come out? Does it like just peek in every now and then and it's like, hey, don't forget about me. I haven't disappeared. I'm still here. I still exist. Maybe it does that. I don't know. Sit down. I don't. Maybe.
Important thing to realize here is that when these parts of the personality become repressed, it isn't like you just have some free-floating traits repressed into the shadow. So it wouldn't be entirely accurate to say something like, I repressed my greed, or I repressed my joy, because both greed and joy are free-floating qualities. In order to repress a quality like greed or joy or anything else, you would have to repress an entire personality fragment that's attached to those qualities. Now, these personality fragments, which are split off from the conscious awareness, that are often referred to as shadow aspects, are actually more like mini personalities. And each of these mini personalities are all 100% you because they are fragments of your personality. And when these mini personalities get split off from your conscious awareness and put into the dark closet of the shadow, They become separate and autonomous from your conscious personality, which is the ego, the part of yourself that's in the light of consciousness that you refer to as me or I.
I.
So in the same way that our conscious personality or ego has its own perspectives, needs, and
So
agenda.
crazy. Whenever I think of something that's not conscious, I'm just like, dude, that's my primal self. I'm just like, bro, that's like my animal self. That's why I flinch. That's why I react. That's why I have all these natural things that I don't need to actually consciously control. That's all that shit. Like breathing. Takes care of breathing, digesting, whatever. It's all primal shit, right? It's just like, how primal does it be? Like primal shit? Do you know how primal shit is? It's fundamental. And then since we have that so down pat, we're able to then go and expand. And then we can harness some consciousness. We say, we had enough fun with the unconscious bit. Let's try out a little bit of consciousness. And then we become conscious, right? And then that's when you have the world you see before you today. You have videos like this. You have people that are aware and they want to know more about their awareness. So they go and then they study the mind, and then they go study human behavior and personalities, and they go study people, psychology. They go and study to try to understand what the fuck are we, right? What are we doing? You know? It's just so unbelievable. Like when you take an Alan Watts perspective. Not that I'm a believer. We just learned about that last video. But if you take that perspective and you acknowledge that you are the universe looking back at itself. Like there is no creator to this. We have a conscious experience where you are aware. Like, and it's something in a piece of the universe is aware of itself. Like, tell me that's fucking, like, tell me that ain't cool. It's fucking cool. Something in the universe, all of us are aware. Like, I wish animals had that. That's so awesome. But then you could also argue maybe it's not. Things are more simple when you're not aware of yourself and you don't question things. It is more simple, and some people would argue that they prefer simpler things. Because then complexity, it leads to a lot of shit. I mean, complexity is the only reason things like this even happen. It's all complexity. I mean, arguably, there's a theory that we became conscious because, unlike our tree brethren, you know, the monkeys that stayed in the tree, apparently they say, possibly, some of those monkeys, they got off the trees. They went down from the trees. They're not on the trees no more. Right? They said, no, we're not fucking with them tree people no more. That's not really how it went. Maybe we got kicked out. Maybe we fell off. I don't know. But they say some monkeys did not stay in the trees. You know how monkeys be up in trees and shit. You know, they love the forests. You know, they love all that shit. Well, turns out some motherfuckers had to get down. And then we had to learn how to walk really well on our own 2 feet. And then we had to learn how to communicate, how to socialize, become these social creatures better, because it was a tough an environment which required us to have a lot of these things. Maybe it required consciousness, since we understand everything. We understand every living being as only having traits and abilities that are necessary to survival. So if that goes for us, consciousness was necessary to our survival in being those monkeys that came down from those trees. We got hit with so many new shit. We got hit with so much new threats, new shit to deal with, new challenges, new whatever, new habitat. I mean, just think about it. So complex, like hard times would build complexity. You know, what's the real word for it? Like hardship, challenges. A challenge builds like hard time, like new territory. It breeds new complexity. Think about that.
Yes,
sir.
Each of our shadow aspects that inhabit the shadow also have their own perspectives, needs, and agendas. And the agendas of any given shadow aspect may or may not conflict with our conscious personality's agenda. And so, when your conscious personality's agenda clashes with the agenda of one or more of your shadow aspects, this may cause quite a bit of inner turmoil and a feeling of resisting or fighting with yourself. So you may notice your shadow aspects and their agendas at work when you're engaging in procrastination and self-sabotaging behaviors that keep you struggling to make positive changes in your life. So let's discuss an example of how shadow-based self-sabotage can show up in someone's life and thwart their plans.
An unwanted guest. Ooh.
Suppose a woman identifies strongly with being a loner. Her goal is to run a successful online business and live in the countryside because that mode of living minimizes interaction with and dependence on other people, which she consciously believes is what she ultimately wants. Even though the idea of self-sufficiency is practicable, she repeatedly undermines the progress she makes. For example, she gets offered an opportunity to purchase a piece of farmland in the wilderness.
How do you just get presented
price,
that?
But she declines over a flimsy reason. Or she manages to attract a considerable following on her lifestyle blog, which has a lot of earning potential. Still, she decides to quit posting without being able to explain her decision with solid arguments. From the ego's perspective, the way she consciously perceives herself and determines what she wants and needs, her choices are without reason. After all, she's strong.
I need a blender. I don't like the protein shake. It just does not taste good with water, man. I need a fucking blender. It's so ass. Oh my god. Oh shit. Fuck. I need to throw a banana in there. I need to throw a lot of shit. I need berries, like strawberries and bananas. I just need to throw something in a blender. Cause holy fuck. Oh. Oh. That hurts. That hurts. I'm good. Sorry.
She identifies as the lone maverick. She has dreamt for years about being self-sufficient, independent, and far removed from the herd. But as soon as her dreams come true, she throws a spanner in the works. She cannot explain why. It's like something or someone is sabotaging her, as if an unwanted guest is hiding in the shadows of her soul, unsupervised, outside of her conscious authority, and that this individual swiftly takes over the wheel without consultation, destroys what the ego's efforts have achieved, and then goes off nowhere to be found. Just like any form of sound reasoning to support her self-sabotage, the mysterious guest remains elusive. She knows that something fishy is going on in the darkness, but she can't put a finger on it, as it's beyond her conscious reach. As long as she fails to shine a light on what's lurking in the shade, it will govern her like a puppeteer from behind the curtain. As Jungian analyst Dr. Murray Stein stated, and I quote, "Any autonomous complex not subject to the conscious will exerts a possessive effect on consciousness proportional to its strength and limits the latter's freedom." End quote. When our shadow aspects take matters into their own hands, destructive consequences may follow. Unexplainable desires and emotions could arise from nowhere and whenever they feel like, without permission, overriding our authority and dwarfing our strength of will. They influence and even sabotage our conscious agendas as they pull the strings from behind.
That's so ugly. That's so ugly to think about. I'm not gonna pause for long. But like, what if it's like just like really like ugly and you're really just trying to suppress it? Like, is it really just like, how can that still be considered a part of your personality if you understand it to be just so bad? To just like, you're just like, no, get it out. Like, is it really just stuck there? Like, is that really just fundamentally a part of you? Can it be things that are just, I guess, yeah. I guess there could just be things that are fundamentally a part of you, but it's like, fuck, who put it there? Why? Like, sometimes it's shit. And I'm just like, bro, I don't even like that. Like, why do I have to do that or whatever, right? It's just like, what the fuck? That's not, like, get rid of it, please. Because, like, ew. Like, no, bro. No. Just get rid of it. And it's like, can we really not? Is it just gonna stay there in the shadows, just fucking me over? Like, come on.
Scenes, leaving us puzzled about our irrational behavior. Dr. Murray Stein wrote the following about the sabotaging nature of what Jung called complexes, and I quote, "Complexes function to stall the individuation process by bullying a person into emotional dead ends. One can easily fall victim, for instance, to an implacable need for revenge and an unforgiving rage at wounds inflicted in childhood, or slip into the bottomless abyss of nostalgia. The complex has a will of its own that is often stronger than the ego's capacity to resist." End quote. The complex, or mini-personality hiding in a woman's shadow, represents a repressed characteristic, the desire for human connection. Because of past hurts, she had disowned it, and she is unaware that this unwanted aspect of herself has turned into a shadow government that tries to undermine the actions of a fearful isolationist, disguised as a lover of solitude and independence, but who, unknowingly, deeply craves kinship. From the background of her psyche, this repressed personality plays a paradoxical game. On the one hand, this shadow aspect wants to be part of her conscious awareness. She wants her motivations heard, her desires felt, her needs met. So it sabotages the staunch individualism of the conscious personality and all her efforts towards independence. Consequently, she continues carpooling to go to work, living with
Oh my
roommates,
God.
and doing her
This, like, referring to it as a different person, her, she wants this, she needs this. It's like, wow, fuck. Shit, we're more complex than one would think.
laundry at a public laundromat where she sees many people. This situation might seem inconvenient and undesirable from the perspective of her conscious personality, but it's precisely where the shadow aspect wants her to be. On the other hand, the shadow aspect doesn't want to be illuminated, and her elusiveness is understandable, as she not only represents what's unwanted, but also rebels against the person who disowned her. If she finds her, she will lose her sovereignty. So as long as she remains in the shadows, she maintains the power to autonomously troll, sabotage, and destroy. She remains a personality of her own, and, above all, safe. But by doing so, she will forever be in conflict with her host.
Unmet needs.
There are a couple of different reasons why self-sabotage can happen. But in the example with the woman, the self-sabotage is coming from a shadow aspect responding to a need that could potentially go unmet, which is the need for connection.
Oh my
From this
God.
shadow aspect-
Oh, so many people are like this, bro. Especially nowadays. They're like, no, I don't need this. I don't need shit. I don't need this, whatever, bro. I'm just like, no. Like, we're kind of... I mean, I can't say no, but I understand that this is going to happen. Like, we're social creatures. I guess for this specific example, like, we're social creatures, bro. Like, trust me. Yes. I'm all about being fucking, wolf. The wolf, just a king, right? Of course I want to stand out. Of course I don't want to be a sheep. I want to be a wolf. I want to stand out. I want to be a lion. I want to be an eagle. But as much as that is true, and as much as that's going to affect my ability to be friends with people, because it's so easy to be friends with people when you're just a sheep, when you're like everybody else, when you're just like everybody else, it's super easy to be like everybody else. And when you are like them, it's easy to become friends with them because we look for our friends, something that's like, similar to us. So if I'm very different from a lot of people, which I believe myself to be, it might be, generally much harder for me to make friends, maybe become friends with people, keep a friend. Don't really know. But I think I have a pretty cool personality most of the time that allows me to still have friends. I wouldn't say I have necessarily like a real lack of friends. I think I'm just like, I've become much more of a social person now. I'm not antisocial, especially not as much as I used to be. Definitely much more of an extrovert now. Now that I'm taking risks, and I love taking risks. I don't know exactly what did it for me, but just hearing so many people talk about, I think it must have been I don't remember his name, but the life is risky. Everything is risky. I'll tell you how risky life is. not gonna get out alive. That guy. That guy. Ever since that moment, I heard that shit. I just knew I had to take every risk. I knew.
Perspective, the conscious personality's agenda to go towards extreme independence is totally antithetical to that need. Deep down, this mini personality knows that if and when her host
antithetical? Yo, hold up, rewind.
Deep down, this mini independence is totally antithetical. Conscious personalities.
From this shadow aspect's perspective, the conscious personality's agenda to go towards
extreme
independence is totally antithetical. I don't even know what that means.
Is totally antithetical to that need.
I understand what she might mean with
this
that whole
personality
thing, but
knows that if and when her host becomes financially successful, she will have enough money to have her own home with no roommates. And she'll have her own vehicle, so she won't have to carpool with others to go to work. And she'll have her own washer and dryer, and she'll no longer need to go to the laundromat where she has lots of social interaction. The shadow aspect also realizes that having more money means that she has more of a capacity to neglect and ignore its need for connection and socialization. And so, in a desperate attempt to preserve what little connection to other people that this shadow aspect gets, it sabotages her financial success and manipulates the conscious personality into procrastinating and avoiding financial success by making inexplicably unwise business decisions. On top of that, it might also create different rationalizations and mental blocks about success. And maybe every time she wants to work on her blog, she suddenly feels overwhelmingly tired and just wants to take a nap, when she was perfectly energized and awake before. Now, the solution to self-sabotage that comes from a shadow aspect having an unmet need is actually quite straightforward. Self-sabotage that comes from
the solution to something that comes from
an unmet need is actually quite straightforward.
What is the solution?
The first step is to recognize the needs and agendas of your conscious person.
First step. This is how you solve. The solution. Here we go. That's the most important bit. We can't miss this. Recognize the needs and agendas of your conscious personality and
the needs of each of your shadow aspects.
The needs of the shadow aspect as well. So figure out the needs of your consciousness and then figure out the needs of that which is the shadow, which is basically the unconscious, you know, that mini personality, whatever.
And this requires observation and brutal
observation, so you can just see it, and brutal honesty. Maybe it is what what was his name? Jordan B. Peterson said after all. He said, just take a moment. Just take a moment one day and ask yourself. And I don't mean just word it to you, like word it out. Look, mouth it out. I don't mean just think about it. I mean genuinely ask yourself. And asking as in you would ask another person, right? To ask is to, warrant a response. You're doing it to warrant a response. Ask yourself, what remarkably stupid things am I doing to jeopardize myself, right? What remarkably idiotic things am I doing to jeopardize my existence, right? And it's like, maybe that's what he's talking about. That's that brutal honesty. Just ask yourself, why did I just do that? I don't know why I just started talking like that.
Honesty. If this woman in the example is very honest with herself, there will be many hints throughout the day that she actually does value connection and belonging. She just has to be willing to notice these things and admit them to herself.
Okay, that's simple.
Then, once she becomes aware of this need, it is her role as the conscious personality to weave this shadow aspect's need for connection into her conscious personality's agenda for financial success.
But wouldn't the shadow, didn't they say that the shadow would kind of be against this though? The shadow would be against coming out. So the shadow wouldn't just be all buddy and be all open to just making, a negotiation like, the shake, like, yeah, sir, done deal. I thought it wasn't like that. I think maybe it ain't so simple.
And to make the necessary changes
maybe it is.
To meet that need. So instead of imagining herself becoming totally independent when she becomes financially successful, she can imagine herself having more time and freedom because of the money she makes, and using that time and freedom to spend socializing and connecting with friends and loved ones. So the solution would be to meet her shadow aspect's needs. That way the shadow aspect doesn't have to sabotage her conscious personality.
So would she just be like, oh, fuck, man. maybe this personality that I've had, then that becomes depression, no? Like Jim Carrey said, you need deep rest. Your body's tired of the character you've been playing. It just wants to stop. It just wants to change. It just wants to change. Like it's just like, bro, this is not for us. Like I'm tired of this character this face, this facade that I've been putting on. That's what depression really is, and it's just like it's time for a change. But it's like. So you're just gonna be like, oh fuck. Now I gotta. I've been like fucking Gary Vee said. He said, fuck. Now I gotta buy the Knicks. It's like if and when I buy the Jets, you're gonna see a video of 60-year-old me like, fuck. Now I gotta buy the Knicks. Or, damn, I should have bought the fucking Baltimore Orioles. I don't fucking know anything about baseball. I don't know. The 69ers. I don't... 69. The 49ers, not the 69ers. That's a whole different sport. I'm out of it. But, like, you're just gonna be like, fuck, I should have just done this. Or, no, not that. You would be like, fuck. I've been living the past 6 months with this ideology, with this idea that this is really what I wanted. But now that I'm being honest to myself, damn, it seems like a part of me that is fundamentally part of me that I can't just necessarily get rid of. You know, it's like emotion. You can't really get rid of it. You just hide it and then it builds up and then it'll blow up eventually. For some reason, everything does that within us. You can never really fully ever get rid of it. And not all things, but a lot of things. I guess this is one of those. It just blows up. Just blows up out of nowhere. You got to be able to deal with it in a healthy way and express it in a healthy way. You got to express what the shadow aspect wants. And then you're going to be like, fuck. I wanted to not take a shower, but turns out I actually like cleanliness. So now I got to start taking showers. I thought I wanted to be a dirty motherfucker and not shower. One shower a year. It's just like, no. So then you're like, fuck. And then all you have to do is just promise yourself, with this money, I'm not going to use this to then go and not be social with people. I'm going to use this to actually go out and spend money at bars socializing. And this is just like, if you promise yourself that and you make that slight change, is that enough? Right? Is that going to be the deal breaker? And then you won't do all those things that supposedly happens when you're self-sabotaging. You get tired when you're not even tired. You lose motivation. What else? You just stop yourself. Whatever you do to self-sabotage, right? Make bad business decisions. I don't fucking know. Like, does it just stop if you promise yourself, I listen to myself and I'm going to use this money? So therefore, no sabotage. Because I'm going to use this money to get you what you want. Shadow self, please no. Right? Is it something like that? Probably something like that.
Personality's agenda and goals to ensure that those needs get met.
If you're interested in more content about the shadow, Jungian psychology, and many other related topics, I would highly recommend you check out Emerald's channel, The Diamond Net. She's also a conscious work facilitator and life coach who offers one-on-one sessions and group classes to help people along with their inner work. Below the video, you'll find my affiliate link to Emerald's free Shadow Integration Masterclass, 6 simple steps to shadow integration, and a link to her playlist about the shadow.
What is it name? Must have shadow playlist. The Diamond Net. The Diamond Net. Let's search it up real quick. Oh my god, I don't have a fucking... there it is. The Diamond Net. I don't have an I key. The Diamond Net. Shame and the Shadow. Okay, I'll give you a sub. Okay, this video got her up. 57,000 subs. I fuck with it. It is kind of later at night. I might try to get off another video. You know, I feel like I could still go. I feel like I'm still going. I could get off maybe another video off tonight. Especially if I have nothing to go do. Because my dad walks in here and he's like, oh, you gotta come help me take out some bullshit. Sometimes I just want to smack this motherfucker, bro. God. Anyway. I doubt I'm gonna watch The Philosophy of the Matrix. Maybe I'll watch that tomorrow, and I'll only release one video tomorrow because I'll come home and I'll watch this. But damn, I can't talk, and it's The Matrix. It's one of my favorite movies. It's gonna be like a 40-minute video, maybe if I have energy. But you motherfuckers might need to hope that I don't have energy, because I might actually make that a really long video. Because this seems like it could be a really good video. I'm just saying. It might be a really good video. But anyways, man, that was that. Enough of me talking. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Self-sabotage, Carl Jung, and psychology. I'll see you guys in the next one. Yes, sir. What the fuck? Studio mode? No, stop recording.